Bonjour à tous, Anne-Sophie Morvan de chez StudiesUP. Aujourd'hui, on a la chance et le privilège d'avoir Begonia en direct de Perth. Begonia, hi Begonia from Curtin University. And Begonia is going to give us a presentation of a fantastic university located in Perth on the west coast of Australia. And then we can have students to ask any question to her. So Begonia, up to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anne-Sophie. Hi, everyone, for having me here and having the opportunity to present Curtin University to you all. I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to talk a little bit about the destination, about Perth and Western Australia, and also about the university. And please feel free to ask me any question during the presentation, okay?
Perfect.
Okay, so this is a picture just that I have behind as well. So this is the Elizabeth Quay. So you have an overview of the city, which is really, really beautiful. And as I said, we are in Perth, in Western Australia. So we are closer to Europe. Indeed, it's a shorter flight when we travel from France. I'm originally from Spain, so it's quite close as well. It will be the same flight and the same journey. So as I said before, just to have it on the map where we are located in Western Australia, it's kind of a Mediterranean climate, really similar to the climate that you will find in Spain, and there's a lot of nature in the state. So Western Australia is the largest state in the whole Australia, and as I said, is what we call as the true Australia when we imagine from Europe the idea of an Australian environment, the nature and the experience and the outdoors experience. Just some pictures of the city and the things that we can do in here. We are really well ranked in terms of standard of living and lifestyle for index and factors like climate, security. We are the safest city in the whole Australia, and also we have a really good weather, as I said, with warm summer and spring, and also it's quite mild the winter that we have in here. Really close to the nature, and also for international students there are a lot of advantages. We are the only state offering 40% discount to international students in public transport, and they have a lot of advantages as well as students, no matter if they are international or domestic students. There are plenty of festivals here for students to have the opportunity to enjoy while they are studying. So studying is really important, but it's also about the whole experience for our students. Additionally, for the students who come with their families, international students coming with their families, their kids can study in public schools with domestic fees, so they wouldn't need to pay international fees. Just a little bit of an overview of our campus, which is massive. So all the buildings that you see with orange brick and all these campus around all these buildings around the green area. So this is our campus. It's so big. We are the largest campus on Western Australia. And we can say that we have a city within the city. Up to the north, you'll see the city center in there. You can take a bus and it will take you 15 to 20 minutes. So it's really close to the city center, but as well as students can have accommodation on campus if they prefer living at Curtin University. We do have two campuses, so you can see in the map where Perth is, and then we have Bentleigh campus, which is the big picture the big campus I just showed you, but we also have the Graduate School of Business in the city. That's a campus for especially postgraduate students who are already professionals working, and most of the courses are taught in the afternoon. And just a little bit about Curtin. So we have 5 campuses around the world. So we have Bentleigh, so Perth, we have Mauritius, we have Singapore, Miri in Malaysia, and also we have Dubai. So if a student wants to have a global experience as well, it's an opportunity for them to transfer if they want to do one semester, for example, on a different campus. In terms of rankings, we are ranked in the top 1% of universities, and that means that you will study a degree in a top ranked university. Also, something really important, we are the first choice for domestic students when they decide where to go. So a domestic student living in Western Australia, an Australian student, when they choose, 51% of them chose to come to Curtin University, and the rest will go to other universities over east to cities like Melbourne or Sydney, or they will go overseas to study. So that guarantees a really good mix and a good experience with domestic students. Also, Curtin is really well known by the industry links that we have with the industry links that we have in all of the areas. It's just that we have, for example, projects shared with industry. We have also facilities which have been sponsored by the industry. Our curriculum is developed with industry boards, so we are up to date in terms of what we are offering in the class for when the students finish their degree. And also in terms of graduation, I know that students also ask, okay, I'm going to study this, how is going to be my job prospect when I finish? So Curtin graduates achieve full-time employment 4 months after graduation, and we receive 5 stars for student satisfaction during their studies. As I said before, I want you to know that Curtin is really big when it comes to industry links and also in rankings. I just highlighted some of them, but we have rankings and we are really good ranked in several areas. So to name a few, we are first in Australia for mineral and mining engineering and second in the world. We are also 11 in Australia for nursing. Just as a note, Curtin University provides the majority of the employees in Western Australia, the Faculty of Health Sciences. So when we talk about employment outcome, that's a big advantage of studying a health science course in Curtin University. Also, we are second in Australia for health sciences, and we are 25th in the world for architecture, 6th in the world for 6th in Australia for architecture. And also for the graduate business school, we have the triple accreditation, which I know that it's also really important in France and in Europe, because these are global recognized accreditations. What can you study at Curtin University? You can study a lot of different things, undergraduate degrees and postgraduate, and also research. You can do PhD. So we have agriculture and environment and sustainability, architecture and construction, arts and creative industries, business, management and law, cultural society and indigenous, education, engineering, mining and surveying, health, information technology, physical sciences, geoscience, and mathematics. And within these study areas, you can find a lot of different courses. So from art, and then dipping down to journalism, design, game design, animation, theater, but you can also become an engineer, study chemical, mechanical, mechatronics, or study your Bachelor of Commerce with different specializations, or your Bachelor of Business Administration, but also mathematics. So it's a huge range of courses. And then if you have any question about any specific course, we can talk about that as well. I studied a bit, so you can see how important is the immersive experience when our students are doing their course. So I'm going to show you some of the labs. So some of our labs by faculty. So the Faculty of Business and Law, as I said, is big in management as well. So for example, in social media. So we have the first picture is the agency. It's a social media lab where we use software to measure what's happening out there in regards to social media. We also have a trading room. It's the first picture that we have at the right, and that's for finance students. We also have the HQ room. This is a room for management students. So this simulates a headquarters room where the management staff will be taking decisions, and you will have all the information that you need for planning sessions, for example, displayed on the screens. And also we have a consumer lab. So in that picture, the professor is putting some sensors, and then we can measure where, for example, the consumer on a website, when we present a new website, where is fixing the site, what are the areas that they are looking at, which colors they are attracted to. So we have a pretty well understanding of the consumer experience. And all this is used by our students. Also, some of the labs for health sciences, the big one, the picture at the right. So this is an anatomage table. So basically it's virtual reality to used in the table to just help students to understand the body. We are seeing there some of the nerves, but it can have different layers depending on the need of the study. And also there are different labs for speech pathology students, for occupational therapy, sports and exercise. It will depend on the course. This is kind of more fun, but it depends on the area as well. So this is humanities. This the big picture is about game animation. So you see that they are testing some of the sensors and how it's reflecting on the game. And then we also have the TV studio for journalists, students, but it's also used for production. So some students are recording in there some setting for their videos. And then we also have science and engineering. It's quite broad as well. So the first picture is our F1 team. So engineers can join the Formula One team, and then it's called the motorsport team, and they will be building their car from scratch. But also it's for students. Students can join for different fields like business, for example, because they will be looking for their own sponsors as well. So it's a multidisciplinary club, but it will be a hands-on experience. We also have agriculture, and that picture with this guy just smiling. So this is the civil engineering lab, which is kind of like a warehouse where students experiment with concrete, with all sorts of structures, and it's for undergraduate and postgraduate students. And also we have our earthquake test lab, where you can see 4 different structures. It's the only lab in Western Australia like this, because basically they build structures, and when they vibrate, they can test the resistance of the different structures against each other. Just it's quite popular, the study abroad program for students in France as well. So basically, students who are not ready to come for the whole degree, but they still want to have an experience just for 6 months or for a year, we have a study abroad. You need to be enrolled in a home university. So you need to be studying in France, in this case, in your university. And you can come to study with us in semester 1 or semester 2, that it will be either February or July. The tuition fees are Australian dollars 10,300, and students need to meet the English entry requirements as well as the course requirements. So usually we have some set units for students to choose, but if a student is in a second year, for example, and they want to come to their 3rd year, obviously the units that we have will be pretty basic for them. So we will organize a study plan for the students to be able to do the last year with us. And the only requirement is that if the unit has any prerequisite, you need to meet it. But we will work with you and guide you through the application process. This is also students need to have their health insurance as well, which is basic and compulsory to apply for the student visa. This is managed by one specific team that we have at Curtin, which is called the Go Global team. And basically they organize a lot of activities for you to have like a rounded experience, which will combine your studies, but also the experience that you can have as an international student here at Curtin. So if you are thinking of that, you will have plenty of opportunities to have fun as well. Some students decide to live in the city or in a closer neighborhood. Some others prefer to live on campus. I'm going to talk about accommodation a little bit later, but just to have a snapshot of how's life on campus. So we have a lot of facilities and activities for you to enjoy. We have the Curtin Stadium, so you can be active and you can enjoy not only the traditional gym or the classes, they also organize activities outdoors, so you can learn how to surf, but we also have a volleyball area on the campus, so there will be plenty of opportunities for you to be active. You can also, we encourage you also to meet other students. We have I think that more than 110 clubs. So this is the guild or the students associations, and they go by course or by interest area. So we have the engineers club, but we also have by, as I say, by cultural interest. We have the Malaysian, for example, or Singaporean society. So it will depend on what you wanna join. We have the Latin American students, but also the marketing students. So you have an idea that it can go by different areas. So we think that this is an amazing opportunity for you to meet students, domestic and international, and enlarge your network when you are studying. And also we have services to take care of you. So if you are feeling sick, we have the doctor on campus, so you can just walk in or just book your appointment with time and come and see your doctor. And also we have disability services and counseling, just in case you are struggling a little bit, because mental health is something really important, and we do take care of that issue here at Curtin. Also, we have a supermarket on campus. So either you are living here or you are living outside the campus, you can just go to IGA and just do your grocery shopping if you want. And also we have a library which just been refurbished. It's massive. And yes, as I said before, you are going to come here to have fun, but also to study. So we have amazing facilities for you to be focused on your studies. A lot of the students ask us, how's the orientation week at Curtin? It's really difficult to explain, but I just wanted to share some pictures with you. That was 2 weeks ago, and it happens in February and in July. It's quite an exciting week where you will have the opportunity to meet the students of your same course, but also other international students. You will have the opportunity to see what the student associations are doing, so you have an idea of the group that you may like to share. So it's just, it's a great week that we have before your course starts, and it's a good opportunity to also understand how to immerse yourself at Curtin and how to make the most of your life at the university, which is just about to start. But it's really, really, really exciting to see everyone on campus. As I said before, we have accommodation. This is just a picture of our newest facilities, St. Catherine's College. And then we also have twin dolphin halls, which are studios. And we also have other shared accommodation on campus. So we have 5 different options. So St. Cat's College is the newest facility. It's a traditional college where you will have meals included. So it also has all the Wi-Fi included. They come and clean once per week. So you have a little bit of help in there. You have laundry facilities as well. Prices start from, I think that they are around 500, and it includes 7 meals, but you have also the option of having 21 meals. It's really important to have, so it's compulsory to have 7 meals because they want you to go to the dining area and socialize with the students and meet all the other students. Students in St. Catherine's College, they have also academic support just to help you with your studies on top of all the services that we have at Curtin. Twin Dolphin Hall, it's more for postgraduate students and more independent students. But we need to say that at the moment, it's fully booked and we don't have any place for 2023. And then we also have shared accommodation on other houses at Curtin. They are a little bit cheaper, and because they don't have the amazing services that we have as Uncats. But it depends on the budget of the students. Some students prefer to be on a cheaper accommodation, be more independent, and then have more freedom to spend whatever they have in the budget to do other activities. So it's up to you, and you have all the options. And you can also live outside the campus because it's really well communicated. Just would like to mention some of the scholarships that we have for 2023. For you being in France, it will apply the Curtin International Merit Scholarship, which is 25% discount of your first year of tuition fees. You can, even when you make payment, you can straight away deduct the 25% if you have been awarded with that scholarship. We also have Australian year 12, but this is for students being onshore. And then the alumni and family, if you have any family member that has studied at Curtin, we will give you the 25% discount. So it will be either the merit or the alumni and family. You don't need to submit any different application for that. We will assess when you submit your application. If you need some English before you come to study at Curtin, we can package your offer or your studies with Curtin English. And we have a subsidy or a scholarship of $6,680, which is basically 10 weeks of English. We are the only university in Western Australia having such a scholarship with such a value, and that will improve your academic English before you come to study your course. For postgraduate students, we also have the extension, the merit extension scholarship for the MBA students and for the Master of Commerce majoring in marketing. They will need to have a course grade average of 70 or 75, depending on the course. And then they will have a 25% discount on the second year. And also for students doing science and engineering courses, undergraduate degrees, they can have the 25% in the whole course duration if they are really good performing students. So they need to have a course grade average of 80%. And as I say before, in those scholarships, you don't need to do anything. So you just need to submit your application for the first year. We will assess it. And then for the extensions scholarships or the science and engineering undergraduate scholarship, the faculty will be assessing how you are progressing or how well you are doing at your studies. And they will send you an email saying, congratulations, you got an extension of the scholarship. And just to finish, I like to ask yourself if you can picture here. So these are some of the amazing pictures that we have in Western Australia. The first one is the Omeo Wreck. So you can snorkel here. This is just 25 minutes driving from Curtin in a place called Coogee in Western Australia, really close. Also, we have the sunset. I must say that two of the pictures are mine. So it's just for you to see that it's a real experience. And I've seen these places and you can also see them as part of your experience. So we have a sunset here in the outback. So it's just the inland of Western Australia. And this is just at the south of the coast. This is just one of the giant trees that we have in a city or in a town called Denmark. And I took that picture because it's just impressive, the experience and the contact that we have with the nature here in Western Australia. And yeah, I think that's it from me. I'm going to stop sharing. This is my email if you want to have more information or you want to send me any query. But obviously we work with the StudiesUP, and we can just you can also contact them and they will be sending your query.
Thank you so much, Begonia. I just wish I could be with you over there at the moment.
It's summer now, so the weather is still amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot warmer than it is in France at the moment. So thank you so much. I think that was really a good overall, a good feeling of what to expect for a student to come and study in Curtin. Now, Léora ou la maman de Ruben, peut-être vous avez des questions spécifiques, n'hésitez pas à les poser en français ou en anglais, sinon je les traduirai.
Mon anglais est un peu plus approximatif.
Il n'y
Donc,
a aucun souci, vous inquiétez
voilà,
pas.
j'ai cru comprendre que Begoña était espagnole.
Oui, tout à fait.
Alors, je vais lui poser mes questions en espagnol parce que
ben,
je suis, voilà. Hola, Begoña.
Hola.
Hola, encantada. He reconocido el acento en español.
Obviamente.
Entonces, yo quería preguntarle algunas cuestiones para, por ejemplo, el coste de los estudios, cuánto nos costaría, por ejemplo, 1 a 3 años de estudio para Rubén, y incluido habitación, todo.
Okay. And Sofia, sorry, I know that I'm not sure if I should answer in Spanish or in English.
It's better if we keep going in English, to be honest. Otherwise, it would be difficult for the other.
Puedes hablar en inglés. Yo entiendo muy bien en inglés, pero para hablar... Sí, sí.
No, ou alors
But I appreciate,
ouais.
I appreciate Marina just
En anglais,
noticing that's something really important as well, that a part of the international students community, the staff is international, so we have members from all over the world. So that's really important as well, because most of us have been international students or have an international background, and that's really important when we connect and we help our students as well. So just just as a note. So the cost of the course will depend on the cost. We are talking about $15,000 more or less per semester, and that will be only the tuition fees. Then for accommodation, we are talking about, it will depend on where the students or your son, you say that is Ruben?
Yes, it's Ruben.
Yeah, so it will depend on where he stays. So on campus, we have, for example, St. Cat's, and as I said, it will be around 500. And that will include almost everything, 7 meals, but he can have a fare of 21 meals. I can also send more information, more detailed information about all the prices that we have for accommodation. But depending on where he stays, we also have the other shared accommodations that obviously weren't open last year and are a little bit older. So there are fees from $250 per week. And those houses are usually shared accommodation, so they can be either sharing beds, sharing a room with other flatmates or with other students, or they also have individual rooms, but they have a shared kitchen and shared facilities. So it will depend on where he's going to stay. In the city at the moment, there's quite a shortage of, and it's really challenging to find accommodation. We obviously have, there are independent providers like Campus Perth and other institutions offering accommodation for international students as well. So that would be other options. But even if the student wants to live outside the campus, we have a team that can help and guide the student with that. And also Study Perth, which is the government, has a dedicated webpage to help students to find accommodation. So even though it's challenging at the moment, for example, before we started the course this semester, we sent an email to all students, making sure that they would tell us where they were going to stay. And if they didn't have accommodation, allocating them like kind of a accommodation mentor to make sure that they had accommodation. So we are on top of that because we know that at the moment it's a little bit challenging, but I don't know when Ruben will come to study with us, if it's going to be in July or maybe next year, and then the situation maybe may have changed. But we are talking about that cost. I'm just trying to think about life, cost of life, and usually I would say that it's around accommodation and groceries and then leisure and activities that they do. We usually talk about $2,000 Australian dollars per month. Students can also work, and so students will be studying full time. That means that usually they will be doing 20 hours per week on campus, and they will have to study, obviously, apart from that. but they usually have casual jobs, working on a cafeteria or in a supermarket or in a shopping mall. We've done, all of us, we've done that. And it's something that can help you or can help them not only with the finance, but also with networking and also with the language and understanding the Australian culture a little bit.
Thank you.
And from July 1st, the student will be able to work 24 hours per week.
Yes.
So they even have more money to put in the pocket if they need be. But it's true that we've been interviewing a lot of our students that are currently in Australia, and it's super easy to find a job. So that will cover most of the local expenses, which is good for Australia. Very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I have another question. Can we pay monthly the scholar fees, or
it's per semester?
Yes, so it is paid by semester. The advantage of having the merit scholarship is that the 25% can be deducted from the deposit. So instead of paying the full deposit, you can have the discount. And then when census date passes, so usually that will be either March or August, and we check that the student is fully enrolled in the program, we just credit straight away the rest of the discount. So in the second semester, the student doesn't need to pay the full semester again. So it will be with the discount.
Okay, merci.
Leora, do you have any question you want to ask maybe in the chat at all? If you've got any, feel free. Something we can mention as well, Begonia, is the post-study works right, because there is a big news there as well. Especially, I know Ruben and Leora were considering maybe to apply for a full bachelor degree. So this news will apply to them.
Yes. So we, depending on the area where the students want to do, the government just published a list of courses, and if they are basically it's health sciences or IT or engineering courses, so they will have a 4 years post-study work rights doing a bachelor degree. And if those studies are not on the list, we are still considered a regional area for study purposes, and we have an extra advantage than the rest of states. So if traditionally a bachelor degree was 3 years, for us will be an additional year. For the postgraduate degree will be the same, and for PhD will be the same. So even if the students don't want to stay in Australia, but they still want to experience a little bit what's the work culture and having that international experience before returning maybe to Europe, they will have that advantage as well, which is great news.
It is indeed. It's true that sometimes students go over there and they don't know if they wish to stay on, but sometimes and often they do. So it's true, it's fantastic option they could have, and a real plus on their resume if they want to have an international experience, work experience, and to say they work for an Australian company, it's a good plus. So that's fantastic news indeed.
And also it's good because when they are studying, they will have a lot of opportunities to have industry experience. Most of the courses have practical time, internships, and it's a good opportunity for them to connect with the industry or with the company they are doing those hours, and then have that extension when they graduate. It's good to have, and also that return on the experience that they are going to have as a graduates, not only as a students.
Totally. No, that's very good. And how would you compare, Begonia, the lifestyle in Perth and in Australia compared to Europe, for example? Because you know little.
It depends on the city. I lived in Melbourne for 2.5 years, and then I moved to Perth. Perth, in general, Australia is quite laid back, relaxed. Obviously, everyone needs to go to work or to study, you know, and then it's busy. Everyone is busy. But when it comes to I don't know, to the feeling that one has in here is just what I said at the very beginning. When we think of Australia, when we are in Europe, Western Australia is this real Australia. We have this amazing environment, all the parks, it's really green. We are outdoors all the time. There are a lot of opportunities to do outdoor activities and do, you know, like snorkeling or kite surfing or surfing. But we also live in cities, right? So you'll have access to all the facilities that we have in Europe. And you know, like obviously restaurants and shopping and cinemas and all of that. So in that sense, if you like a urban environment, you will have that. But I also say, come to Australia and choose a city to have a different experience, not to just have an extension of what you have in you know, in Paris or in Madrid, in Spain. Just have that experience, because you can always return to Europe. So in that sense, I think that it's a really rich experience, like a really positive experience to be here in a completely different environment. So another thing that I love, it's just people smile at you. So when you just cross paths with people, they smile at you. It's so amazing. Or you go on the bus and then you say hi to the bus driver. Or when you got off the bus, you say bye. It's really nice. It's really nice. Yes.
Totally agree with you. It's people are a lot more open and friendly and laid back, like you mentioned. If someone approach you in big cities in France, you're like, hang on, what does he want?
Yeah. People in here want to help you. And people want to talk to you. You are at the supermarket at the lane, and then people will talk to you. It's just it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. It's a completely different experience.
Totally. Yes. That sounds good. And the weather, I think, is do a lot also over there. And I can see that Perth is, I don't know, you know, we've been sending students to Australia for more than 15 years now, and I can see that Perth is getting more and more popular. I think maybe the COVID did something there, but I think students looking also for authentic, like you say before, authentic cities, authentic backgrounds and lovely natural areas. And I think Perth is one of the cities that can offer both, because you are, like you mentioned, in the city, but nearby very quickly you've got access to the beach and so on, and this is really give you a good balance. If you feel like you're a city person, you still have these great outdoor opportunities just next door, which is fantastic.
And also in terms of the experience with international students, there are other cities that are where other nationalities are more present. In here, it's more mixed, and we have a lot of Europeans as well, because we are closer to Europe than the other cities. So it's good, because you won't have as many international students as you will have on the East, which is good, because you will have more opportunities, or the students will have more opportunities to mingle and network with domestic students as well. So it's more of an authentic experience, I would say.
Yeah, and a question there: how far is Perth from the other big cities?
Okay, so it's you have to take a plane. Well, you can drive, but it will take you some days.
Take you a few days, yes.
From Adelaide, I think that we are 3.5 hours.
Yes.
From Melbourne, we are 4.5, and then Sydney and Brisbane, it's around 5 hours.
So that gives you an idea. Yes.
Yeah. Usually students say, oh, if I go to Perth, I'm going to be a little bit far away. And I say, far away from where? Because we are 3 hours from Bali. Some students, when they finish or when they are in the summer break, they want to travel in Asia. So we are really, really close to that area. And if you go to Melbourne, let's say, you wouldn't visit Perth. But if you are in Perth, you will visit eventually the East Coast. So you will have it all. But also you can travel to other destinations which are closer. And then if you want to go back for holidays to France, you can save up to 3 hours.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Perth and all the surrounding, you've got so much to offer. There's so much road trip and so on that you have in between the semester. And then, like you mentioned, also summer break is between the two semesters. You've got nearly 2.5 months, so then you can go and do a road trip on the east side. You've got so much time to explore the rest of Australia. It's true that during your semester in WA, there is already so much to do. All the wineries, all the wonderful surf spots you've got in south of WA. You can go up to Broome. That is a nice area as well. So yes, students have got so much on. That's for sure. Yeah.
A student wants to have that experience as well. So they like to just go with their friends, just rent a van, and then they go to the north or do a road trip, or to the south. Really easy to travel here, really safe. I will highlight that. It's really, really safe. And there are a lot of facilities. It's really easy to do camping, or just to go with the camper van in a group and traveling in Australia. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Any last questions? Because we a PhD, that would be for the mem, I suppose. I'm also interested in PhD program in Curtin. Maybe if you can mention the process. Yes.
Yeah, so PhD at Curtin, it's a little bit different from a coursework, undergraduate or postgraduate. So basically, you will need to have not a thesis, but a proposition of the project or the work that you want to do. We do have a dedicated website where you can find different supervisors and what they are doing. So depending on the area of your PhD, you will need to search the academic that is doing that at the moment. And then once you have chosen, maybe you are identified 2 supervisors, you will send them the proposal to them. And if they accept you into their program, then we start the application process. So we ask you first to identify your supervisor and see if the university is offering the research project that you are interested in before we start an application.
Very good. Nice process. Yes, we're getting more and more PhD students applying in Australia. So that's easy also for us to follow up on that. That's great. Well, Begonia, I don't know if there is anything else you wanted to add on. I think you covered a lot already. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add.
Just the takeaways of the session is, obviously we've talked about how lab will be here and how the students will be taken care of, but it's about the university. The giveaways will be our connections with the industry and the rankings, and where programs are accredited and recognized by the industry. And also that for us it's really important that an international student feels welcome and and joins the community that we are at Curtin, which is students and also staff.
No, that's great. And like you mentioned, yes, degree is recognized by the industry and around the world. Sometimes students keep asking me, is it recognized? Of course it is, well and truly. So feel free, of course, and you will see that the Australian degree will open up a lot of opportunities for you. Thank you so much, Begonia. It was a real pleasure to see you until we see each other in Paris at some stage again. And it was very good, very complete, very you covered a lot. So thank you so much. Have a lovely evening. Thank you, everyone. And we keep in touch.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
À bientôt. Bye. Ciao.